Yeah, start.
Hi Kevin, I believe this is your first trip to India,
It
and
is.
I hope you've enjoyed coming here.
I have. I really enjoyed it. I've been around quite a few different countries, and I've never been to India, so I'm excited to be here, and I've enjoyed it, and I look forward to coming back.
Great, that's nice. And how was your experience working with these juniors?
It was good. You know, I didn't know what to expect. You know, you don't hear too much about golf in India back in the States, although you have more and more over the years.
Yep.
You know, IJGA Singh's made a big hit in some European tour events, and played good in some events
Great
in America.
inspiration for some of the
You know, Arjun Atwal lives in Orlando, and I lived in Orlando for quite a few years. So over the years, you've heard it growing a little bit. And at the IJGA, we've got a couple Indian students now, and they're really good players. So it's nice to see it grow, and you know, hopefully that'll continue here in the country.
And what, in your opinion, is the crux of developing a good game? You know, something these guys could follow as a routine, or
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, there's a lot of, you know, the hard thing about golf is there's a lot of variables. You know, I always kind of say, you know, in tennis you might have 4 surfaces if you're a professional, but there's, you know, in golf every court's different. You know, you've got 18 different courts, and one day the first hole's into the wind, the next day it's downwind. So even the same hole's different. And, you know, in tennis you don't have 14 different rackets that you have to use like golf. So there's a lot of different variables, but I think the main thing is if you can get some good fundamentals with regards to the full swing and putting, and that's the building blocks to have something that will perform well, you know, for a lifetime, and it's more importantly probably under pressure.
Well, how do you, Kevin, perceive the role of such training camps or golf schools in the development of the game of these youngsters?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important because as golf starts to grow here and more youngsters are getting involved, and you know, if they can get some good instruction with regards to the fundamentals and things that they know they can build on, I think it's important in developing that as a young age. It doesn't mean you have to be too technical, but you just need some solid basis to go by. So 10 years down the road, you don't have to feel like you're starting over. You got that to start with.
And Kevin, what other aspects besides the golf training and the technical aspects of coaching, I mean, would you rate, I mean, things like club fitting, physical fitness, routine, discipline?
All those things are really important, and that's, you know, even more. We talked about the tennis and golf and the more variables, and now you've got even more when you throw that stuff in there, the club fitting and the emotional side and the mental side and the physical fitness side. It's all important. I think that stuff isn't quite as important as the core golf stuff, but certainly if you're going to reach a certain level and you're trying to ramp your game up to compete with someone a little bit above it, especially at a professional level, I mean, you're just looking for that one little edge to propel you above. So it's whether you're fit enough, whether your heart rate recovers fast enough under pressure. You know, anybody under pressure, whether you're in a board meeting or something, your heart rate's going to elevate. And the more aerobically fit you are, the faster it comes down, and it kind of feels a little bit more like a normal situation more than others. Or if you've got certain tightnesses in certain parts of your body that cause you to not swing as efficiently as you could, then that can cause a problem. And then obviously we know that the mental side's at some stage is really important. So it's all really important in the development of a golfer these days, where 50 years ago on the PGA Tour, if you were a good driver of the ball, you could make a pretty good living. Or if you were a good putter, you could make a pretty good living. But these days, you've got to pretty much
all around. Kevin, you have so much experience working with professionals, amateurs, youngsters, and how would you, for youngsters, define a balance between, say, you know, coaching and training on the driving range and, you know, going out on the course and trying to achieve their practice sessions there?
Right.
What kind of...
Yeah, I mean, certainly with, you know, I've been involved a lot with the technology, not developing it by any means, but, you know, I've been involved with doing some 3D analysis and all kinds of, with TrackMan and stuff, and all that's great because it's much easier for the instructor to give a better diagnosis to the student. It'd be like going to a doctor. You'd rather have a doctor, if there was 2 doctors next door to each other and one doctor had an MRI and one didn't, well, you'd probably choose the one with an MRI because there's less guesswork, right? So that's all great for the golf swing and what your golf club's doing and what the ball's doing, but by the same token, that breeds a little, can breed too much technique at times. you know, where it just encourages you to stand on the range, and when you stand on the range, you can just keep working on this and working on that. So, you know, there has to be a balance, and I think kids these days need to spend more time on the golf course than they do on the driving range.
That's true, that's true.
The whole part about having all the quality instruction these days is that you shouldn't have to spend more time on the driving range. You should have an easier diagnosis so you can spend more time on the golf course.
Course and face the actual match-like situations or game-like situations.
Correct.
So one final question, Kevin. What do you term as an ideal preparation or a warm-up routine before an important tournament or before they go on the team?
Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky enough to spend, you know, some time with some of the tour players that I've been lucky enough to work with, and you know, typically before a round they'll spend 15-20 minutes either in the trailer, you know, there's a fitness trailer on tour, or even in their hotel room if they're staying, you know, pretty close. 15-20 minutes stretching. You know, that's kind of behind the scenes stuff. The young kids and the parents, they just see them, you know, hitting golf balls and thinking that's part of their warm-up. But, you know, stretching, making sure that you're ready to go even before you get to the course, and then have a good breakfast, you know, with some good nutrition to make sure you have some energy so your energy level doesn't fluctuate throughout the day, and then just start off with some wedges, getting loose. And then, you know, don't work so much on technique when you're on the range in the morning when you're warming up before a round. Just kind of get loose and see what your ball's doing that day. You know, generally you're going to have a certain shape, like a draw or fade, but there might be days when every shot you hit is a little bit of fade, and you need to just, instead of working on your technique and just trying to figure it out, just play it.
Absolutely. Go out there and just play golf.
Just play golf, exactly. Look at the target and hit the ball at the target.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much. It's been great having you here, and we look forward to more such visits, and it's been a great opportunity for the kids to work.
Thank you. I've had a good time too. Hopefully they've enjoyed it, and I look forward to coming back.
Thanks a lot, Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you very much.